Hello, welcome to Early Childhood Learning Bites. I am Dr. Isela Garcia, and today we're going to talk a little bit about social emotional learning and early brain development. We are all born with the innate need to connect with others, particularly those caring for us. Let us imagine an infant. Just for a moment, think about a baby. Now, when a baby begins to cry, our instinct is to wonder, right? To wonder, why is the baby crying? And then we move through all the possibilities of what could be going on. Maybe the baby's hungry, tired, uncomfortable. Does their diaper need to be changed? Like, what could be happening, right? We go through all of the things. Now, our role and responsibility is to respond to the child's specific needs. And every child is uniquely different, right? And if you pay close attention, you can even begin to notice how effectively babies communicate their needs. They really do. Their cries, their coos, their babbles, where their eyes go, what they're paying attention to, and even how they move their hands and legs. Have you seen a baby get excited and move their hands very quickly, or their legs, kicking their legs very quickly? When we tune in, we start to get to know each child as an individual. Now, their brains are taking in every single sound, every single experience, and every action. The way that we respond to their needs is also something that they are paying close attention to. Their little brains are creating new critical connections. And these connections are quite literally the foundation for future brain development. The foundation. Think about that for a moment. So we have to think about how we're responding to babies. They look to us. Will we keep them safe? Will we ensure that they feel secure? Will we consistently offer comfort, connection, and love? What is happening when we repeatedly respond to babies' needs is that we are creating patterns that they begin to rely on. And this is critically important. When I need something, the people who love and care for me will respond. My caregivers will make sure that I am safe. When I am hungry, they will make sure I have food to eat. When I am scared, they will reassure me. They will look at me and tell me that they are here to help keep me safe. They will gently pick me up, and then I will know that I am safe and loved. When we think about babies, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? But there are two very important points here that I'd like to make. The first is there is a belief that as an infant gets older, we have to help them learn to self-soothe. They need to know that I'm not going to be there every time they cry or whimper or need something. And if I respond too quickly, they'll get spoiled. And they need to learn. This was and still is a very popular belief. But see, now we have a more in-depth understanding of what's happening in the brain and how early brain development works. We didn't know that before. We know now that early experiences are critically important. Early brain development has lasting effects. It's sort of like a foundation to a house. If the foundation of a house is strong, then the house can handle inclement weather, the storms, the winds, the rain, the snowfall, and where I'm at, the heat. Now, if the foundation isn't well built, the house may not be able to withstand the storms. So what we understand now is that the early years are like building that foundation for a house, but it's really building the foundation for life. For life. Let's think about that for a moment. Those early years are building the foundation for life. So what we used to think is true is actually not. You cannot spoil a baby. You cannot love and hold a baby too much. And it is our role and responsibility to provide love, comfort, care, connection when a child needs it. And even when a child's not requesting it, that's our job. That's our role. That's our responsibility. You can never, ever, ever spoil a baby. A baby needs us to love, to connect. And the way they actually learn to self-soothe is by us being emotionally responsive to their needs consistently. That skill set builds over time because then they will feel safe and secure and know that they are loved. The second important point, I started this segment by talking about babies, itty bitty babies, and meeting their needs, right? Now, when we think about babies, we kind of go, yeah, we need to do that. That's our job. That's our role and responsibility, is to meet their needs. And the way that they communicate their needs is, right? Now we get that. We see that. We understand that. And we have an open heart to that. So I want you to go to that place within you. I want you to open your heart to wanting to understand what babies need, even if you don't work with babies. Just what would you do? What would you say? How would you think about really caring for babies and trying to understand what they need, and then doing what you can to help them feel safe and secure and connection and love? Do you feel that? See, every single child needs to feel consistently safe, secure, connection, and love. This is actually the foundation for developing and maintaining authentic relationships. So just feel into that for a moment, thinking about infants and meeting their needs, caring for them, helping them feel safe, secure, connection, and love. Can you feel that? Now let's extend this feeling and let's consider the 17-month-old who has just learned that the word no has power. Or the 2-year-old who has figured out that biting a child that has a toy that they want works. They bite the child lets go of the toy, and problem solved, right? It's like I bite, they let go of the toy, and now I get the toy, right? That's pretty good problem solving, right? Or let's think about the 3-year-old who's having a difficult time transitioning to your program each day, and they spend their entire day in tears. And it's been 4 weeks, and the child isn't showing any interest in any of the activities you are offering. Or the 5-year-old who curses very loudly and throws things across the room when they're feeling frustrated. See, all children need to feel safe and secure, love and connection. And as caregivers, our role and responsibility is to ensure that we are consistently communicating and behaving in ways that help children learn, that help children feel safe, secure, love, and connection, especially when you are challenged by their behavior. When children's needs are not consistently met, when they don't feel safe and secure, maybe they're in situations where there might be domestic violence occurring, and for a child, that is very, very, very scary. Or maybe their family might be experiencing food insecurity, and when they're hungry, there may or may not be food. Or maybe they're continually being yelled at, threatened, or hit by the adults who care for them. See, these experiences and others can be harmful to a young child's early brain development. Remember, all of their experiences in the early years are contributing to that foundation, and it's a foundation for life. When a child experiences trauma, it can have a negative impact that sometimes isn't detected until later in life. So what we say and what we do matters. It matters so much. Finally, it's important to note some of us have experienced our own trauma in our early years. In the last 2 videos I did, I shared the importance of understanding what we believe and how it influences what we're observing and how we're making sense of those observations. This is also true if you've experienced trauma. There might be some thoughts and feelings that might come up for you, and it's critically important that you practice the pause to notice if anything is activated within you. And I shared that in the last video, just noticing what comes up for you. Sometimes it's hard to express patience, understanding, empathy, forgiveness, and love if we didn't get these experiences when we were little. It's important that we recognize and heal this within us, because young children need us to show up for them. They need to feel safe, secure, connection, and love in order to learn. Now, I'm going to say this one more time because it's so critically important. They need to consistently feel safe, secure, connection, and love in order to truly learn. So what does this mean for us? It means that we need to show up our very best selves. So I'm going to ask you this question. How are you ensuring that you are helping children in all situations, even the ones I mentioned? Remember the 18 or the 17-month-old and the 3-year-old and the 5-year-old? How are we showing up in every situation and conveying messages that help children feel safe, secure, connection, and love? I'll see you next time.